The diner is open for business here on this nice summer August day. And what's going on in the world of entertainment? Well, as it turns out, Naked Gun got released, and holy shit, you're allowed to laugh again. Who knew?
Yep.
I saw it in the theaters with my sister and my brother. The best way to describe this movie, it's made for fans of the Zucker Abrams movies by fans of the Zucker Abrams movies. So we sat in that theater for 85 minutes and we laughed all the way through. So as far as I'm concerned, I had a good time with it. I think Liam Neeson did an excellent job, and not much else we can say. I know you guys didn't really see it. The other moviegoer is not here with us today. And guess what? Another season of King of the Hill just dropped. Did you guys see any of that?
I've seen a little bit.
I did not.
That is okay. Now, it is definitely different. I do like that Bobby's older. I do like there's some stories revolving around him. One thing that they did is Breckin Meyer is not voicing Joseph Gribble, which is strange because they still had Bobby's voice actress still voice adult Bobby. And I know the reason why they did that is because of people going, oh no, he must be voiced by a Native American. And it's the same reason why Khan is no longer voiced by Toby Huss, which I'm thinking it's that fucking bullshit again.
Jeez, that sounds like little Karibo when you put it that way.
But at the same time, it's like Joseph Gribble was raised by a white guy. It would make sense if he has a white voice, not a Native American voice. So how does he go from a white voice to a Native American voice into adulthood? It's the same people that said, oh no, you can't have Mike Henry voicing Cleveland. You can't have Hank Azaria voice Apu. It's that bullshit.
The notion of, you can't have a white person voice a Native American or something like that is, look, it reminds me of when I think Cree Summer, who said something like, one of the, great things about being a voice actor is voicing other people, of other types of people of other backgrounds that you're not a part of in real life.
Well, if Little Karibo says, only white people can voice white people or whatever, well, Little Karibo played Frieza in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, so only space aliens can voice space aliens. So Little Karibo, sorry, dude, you're out of work.
Burn.
I mean, there is actually a little bit of free cussing in it. Like they say dick, they say shit. They said cuss words they weren't saying before. And they even tried saying F words in there, but Hulu and Disney said, no, bleep those out.
Seriously?
So there's different things about it. I have to rewatch that season before I can decide if it's good or not. Anyone who's seen it can decide for themselves. Is it really good? Is it not? I didn't hate it, but King of the Hill is one of those shows where if you don't like it at first, it grows on you the second time you watch it.
I do remember watching the very first episode of the original show, which was good and pretty funny.
If anybody's thinking, oh, it's just going to be the liberal left lecturing Hank. No, there's none of that. In fact, it even addresses Hank not fitting in with 2020 societies, if that makes sense. But that was the common joke of the original show, was the world was changing around Hank and Hank didn't know how to handle it. That was the original show too.
I did hear that Hank, yes, was, certainly in the early seasons or so, was originally, resisting or going against the changes in the world around him and being into more of the old school ways. But even that changed over time later in the series.
Anyway, it's not bad. It's, give it time. People will decide if it's good or not. And then speaking of Hulu and Disney, before we go over the other thing, something that the news just came out. Greg, did Gina Carano just beat Disney?
Yes.
Oh boy. Remember anything? Remember this stuff, Adam?
I do remember hearing stuff about Gina Carano, especially when it comes to Star Wars. There is some drama going on there.
So for those who don't know, if they're not familiar with the Gina Carano story, in 2021, she was fired by Disney after she had some, what people would say, controversial social media posts, including one that compared being a Republican to being Jewish during the Holocaust. So, and then she was dropped, and then she was basically dropped. Like, she had her career ruined over it. And the issue with that happened when the Gina Carano firing happened is she was a beloved character on The Mandalorian. Some people liked her on that show. So when she didn't return for season 3, a lot of people said, screw this. And then other people, they said it wasn't the issue that Gina was fired. It was that Gina would say what she said and get fired. Pedro Pascal, the star of The Mandalorian, would say similar things that were anti-Republican, pro-Democrat, or things that would call Republicans Nazis or Trump supporters racist, and he never got any repercussions for it. And that's what a lot of people had issues with.
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense.
And so I do recall someone like a YouTuber named Animate even says something like, maybe if Gina could have kept her mouth shut, maybe she wouldn't have been fired. Hey, wait a minute. I thought you were supposed to be up for women's rights to speak up and all that. Oh, wait. It's only the liberal women's.
Not women Republicans. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too, is like for all the feminists that are like, oh, male privilege this, male privilege that, Gina got fired while Pedro didn't get fired for the exact same thing. Where's your outrage over male privilege there?
I guess they don't want to be called homophobic.
Oh, you're homophobic! How could you say that?
Because Pedro is gay.
I think that whole situation does not make a whole lot of sense, but or even any sense really. But at the same point, though, or on the flip side, I think it's such an absurd stretch to compare Republicans in our lifetime, anytime in our lifetimes, to people, Jewish people and other minorities during the Holocaust.
Well, and that's the thing is, even if you think what Gina said was dumb, whatever your reaction to that was, if you didn't think it was necessary for her to say that, she wasn't exactly wrong. Because remember in 2021, it was the oatmeal and raisin in chief that was Joe Biden literally said, he was calling people on national TV. He said, oh, all MAGA supporters are white supremacists. Our biggest threat to democracy is white supremacists and Trump supporters. He was basically calling half the country all the ists and the phobes.
Yeah, and did he also, I don't know, send more racist stuff than the other guy?
He said more racist stuff than Trump did, that's for sure. But the thing is, he was alienating half of the country by calling the other half that didn't agree with the Biden administration all the ists and the phobes, all the World War II dictators that you could think of. They were basically doing that to get people to hate them. So when Gina Carano says, well, that's what happened before the Holocaust, it was getting their neighbors to turn on their neighbors. That's basically what she was saying.
Presidents should not even have rhetoric like that. Presidents should actually try to be a more unifying figure, not a divisive figure. I mean, it's already bad enough that we had Trump, who was obviously a very polarizing president.
Oh, he was. We're not saying that Trump didn't divide his audience either. We know he did. We are definitely not saying that Trump was a saint. So back to Carano, in 2024, she filed suit in California federal court alleging wrongful termination and discrimination, as well as demand that the court should force Lucasfilm to cast her again and pay her at least $75,000 in punitive damages. Disney lawyers, they filed a motion in April 2024 to throw out the lawsuit, arguing that they had First Amendment right to fire the actor, saying it was a constitutional right not to associate its artistic expression with Carano's speech. So that was basically them admitting we're okay with this speech, but not that speech.
Bullshit.
So we stand for the First Amendment by only allowing one side of speech, but not the other. Good job, Disney.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah. Yeah. So much for being inconsistent, but they're the leftist company. And nowadays they're being hit with more lawsuits than ever.
As they should. Like the Disney executive who got caught admitting of racist hiring practices. like basically admitting how deep down that whole DEI affirmative action bullshit they were. For a while, that's what their films were all about, was pushing diversity, pushing everything to make another ethnic group seem bad while praising the other one. And they did that while the money was there to do it. But now that the people have turned on Disney and said, no, we're not paying you any more money to be preached to and lectured to about this shit, that's why they've started to dial it back. That's why in Inside Out 2, they decided to have Riley not be gay. That's why they took out a trans storyline in the kids show, or they took out any queer themes or gay themes in the latest Elio movie from Pixar.
If this not black enough is just fucking ridiculous. Go back to being based on merit. It's okay to have a diverse workforce, but what's not okay is prioritizing DEI hiring over quality entertainment.
A Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement provided to Variety, the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit. Mrs. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff. Bullshit. She was not respected by her directors, and like the higher ups hated her. Maybe her fellow colleagues were fine with her, but it's like, oh, they're just trying to dress us like, oh, we always liked her. She was always well respected. You're the ones who fired her.
Well, maybe the colleagues, like as in like her cast and crew members on The Mandalorian, may have respected her, but not the Disney higher ups.
Right. But no, they're just sugarcoating it. They're just trying to make it seem like, oh no, we always liked Gina Carano. What? We fired her? No, we didn't mean to do that. No, we didn't mean to do that.
It's a corporate thing. It's a corporate thing to do.
It is. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Is that kind of I don't know, hiring Brian Peck or something?
Oh, what? Oh, he was convicted of pedophilia. Nah. He's an upstanding guy. See, he's really good with the kids.
Oh.
Oops.
I know that sounds like an inappropriate joke, but
it was a bad joke. It was said in bad taste on purpose. So anyway, with this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Miss Carano in the near future. Good job, Gina. You won the lawsuit. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll give Gina back her own show like they said that they were going to do. She can legitimately kick a lot of men's asses who don't know how to fight.
Would that include Pedro Pascal?
Hopefully, because Pedro Pascal is turning into a real sissy, isn't he?
More like a real pussy.
That's oh, I have anxiety. I just gotta have my hands on women. Like, no, Pedro, you're just acting like a creep.
Yeah.
And if I can say this about Gina, I recall she says she wants to get into a boxing match with Kim Kardashian, and I would say, hey, can I join you?
Why would you want to beat up Kim Kardashian? Just let Gina do it.
Yeah, you're right. I should. She's a strong woman after all.
Or did you say, can I join you? Meaning you want to box Gina Carano? You know, whatever you're thinking about in the bedroom?
Heck no.
Oh, come on. There's a lot of guys who like that.
Well, like when Cardi B said that, I'm going to destroy you with my pink dick and all that.
All Cardi B has to do is just open up her lady parts and let the smell clear out everyone in the room.
She's such a wop.
This is why some of y'all states be having hurricanes, because you ain't having sex with me. So now, of course, we got to be mentioning the fact that Hulu is going to be integrated into Disney Plus. So there is going to be a point where Hulu is no longer around. And if you want to watch King of the Hill or Futurama or whatever shows that are being on there, you got to watch Disney fucking Plus.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So what do you know about this, Adam?
Well, I've not looked that much into it, but I find this into a mixed thing. I think that, Disney wants to take over Hulu fully so that way it would be more profitable. But the problem is that what about all the non-Disney shows that are on Hulu? Where are they going to stay there, or are they going to go somewhere else? And
That's a good question.
Disney Plus on paper is a good idea, but it's not executed very well. If they just put most of the Disney library on it, dump the entire Fox library on it, and have ESPN Plus on it, which is closer to what I thought Disney Plus was going to be, and put it at a reasonably low price, they would actually make a killing and have even more subscribers than they already have. That's what they needed to do and should have done.
Well, now imagine all these other shows being integrated into Disney Plus. And then, yeah, I mean, and stuff like that happens, unfortunately. Shows, certain companies pay for their broadcasting rights until they expire, and then the show has to go to a different streaming platform. It's just like the old days when you'd see a show on one channel, and then after a couple years, you'd see that same show on a different channel. Like I used to see Animaniacs on Fox Kids, and then one day it was on Nickelodeon.
Uh-huh.
So
or Cartoon Network.
Right. So that part is not the issue. But again, there's people that have Hulu that really don't want the bundle with Disney Plus or ESPN Plus. Now imagine them being forced to do that. So imagine if you have Hulu and you hate Disney, now what are you going to do?
Pirated?
Well, that's what a lot of people are going to do. I can imagine they would do that.
Yeah. And another thing is that I think another reason why Disney is doing this is because Disney has almost, if not always, lost money off of Disney Plus. And it's a ton of money. Disney Plus was not going to be profitable for quite some years.
Well, in order for Disney Plus to be profitable, all those shows that they spent money making had to be good. And you might have caught lightning in a bottle for a couple of them, but goodness gracious, how much did The Acolyte cost them? Like millions of dollars per episode, and it was the lowest rated show ever on that platform.
And well, you got weirdos who are going to try to say something like, "Oh, it's art. Look at it subjectively. Good and evil are just subjective." Like how Cuties is. You say he's terrible, but you don't know if it's subjectively good.
Oh God! Like I said, anybody defending Cuties, go fuck yourself.
More importantly, the budget of their shows and movies are so big, and it's so consistent, and it's very notorious for Disney to do this every single time, it seems. And they don't need to do that. They need to have lower budgets, find, free and open source software, lower priced resources without necessarily sacrificing the quality of those shows, and make them really good. And they'll be rewarded for doing all of that.
And I can even say this, that, I don't know, how about bring back the diversity of creativity and all that?
Yep, please do that instead of just focusing on someone's skin color.
I like for them to do it too, but Disney might take another stab at hand-drawn animation at Walt Disney Animation Studios. I mean, if I'm correct, it's more possible, and I do think if they were to make a traditionally animated movie and it's good, or it's really good and it's promoted well, it would do significantly well, or even very well. It would, why not make it? As Rebel Taxi said, they released multiple movies a year. At least let one of them be CG, and don't let the box office returns or it's not profitable enough to be excuses. A lot of movies that come out nowadays are not that profitable because they are quite expensive for and to make, and their marketing budgets are expensive. Even when they make hundreds of millions of dollars, it's still not enough.
Well, somehow amongst all of this, like all the problems with Disney's movies, they're acquiring everyone at this point. Like recently, we're getting Like, the company is preparing to launch a standalone ESPN streaming service on the 21st of August. So recently, Disney announced a deal with the NFL that would see ESPN acquire Disney acquire the NFL network and other media assets. So the NFL is going to take a 10% stake of ESPN as part of that.
Yeah.
So now the NFL is going to have some control under Disney, or Disney's going to be having some control over the NFL
through ESPN.
Right,
And,
through ESPN.
And the biggest problem I have with Bob Iger as Disney CEO is that he and Disney has, spent more money than they should have on acquiring more stuff than they should have.
Right, we agree with that, but that's not all. There is more that they are acquiring. All right, get a load of this. All right, Disney on Wednesday, it had landed a 5-year deal to air WWE's biggest events, including WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, on ESPN in the U.S. from 2026.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is insane, but at least it's only in the U.S.
Yeah, that's the U.S. thing. Now, again, I'm a WWE fan, and on and off. So right now, if I want to watch Raw, I watch it on Netflix. If I want to watch any of the pay-per-views or the premium live events, I have to be on Peacock. However, SmackDown is not currently on any streaming services in the USA. So if I want to watch SmackDown on TV, I have to pay for a fucking cable package. What this is actually going to be doing is this is just incentivizing people to just get a VPN and then have Raw and SmackDown and all the premium live events on Netflix instead of having to pay up the wazoo $30 a month to watch WWE events on ESPN.
Yeah, and that's another issue. Paying a sick amount of money to jump through a few hoops just to watch WWE and their SmackDown show.
Well, again, it's one of those things of be careful what you wish for. I mean, we did streaming at the time. Let's say 10, 15 years ago, we did streaming because it was a cheaper alternative to cable. You could pretty much get all the shows you wanted without having to pay for cable premiums for like a few bucks a month, and it was nice. So people wanted the streaming options because cable was too expensive. Now they got their way, but now streaming costs more than cable ever did, unless you just watch YouTube for free exclusively. Oh, again, that's another topic for another time. So we've talked about the merger. We've talked about WWE now becoming part of the ESPN and Disney streaming rights. So, I mean, imagine if Disney decides to want to take control of the rights, and now that they have their foot in that door, like imagine if they're saying, well, can you create a character where he wears Mickey Mouse ears for his entrance?
Ooh.
Exactly. That is right.
Jeez, does Disney even own everything at this point?
God, and that's what it feels like. And that's like, it's at this point, it's like, no matter how much people are trying to escape Disney because of what they have become the last few years, like you just can't seem to escape them.
Well, you got Disney adults to thank for that.
Yes. Well, Disney adults are more Disney adults for the past stuff, not really the current stuff.
Yeah, and I guess one of my solutions is to watch less Disney stuff and less mainstream media stuff in general, and turn to independent entertainment from studios like A24.
Yep, I suppose we can do that too. All right, so sounds like we're wrapping this one up, guys. With that said, the diner is closed. Stay tuned for the next burgers and fries at the diner. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye and good night.
And I'm Desert Coyote 22. Thanks for listening.